for centuries, and Boleyn has been painted as a scheming adulteress, often pitted against King Henry VIII's first wife, the scorned Catherine of Aragon. Historical narratives marvel at their famed rivalry and focus heavily on their differences, Catherine the devout Roman Catholic, and Anne the reformist seductress. But a recent exhibition has cast a new light on the two queens, highlighting their similarities and giving insight into their relationship before becoming love rivals. It also recasts Anne as a deeply religious woman who, rather than plot to bed the monarch, bided her time, serving as a lady-in-waiting to the king's consort and even earning her respect. When Anne was executed on May 19, 1536, she had been found guilty of adultery, incest and conspiracy, charges widely understood to be false, accelerated by the king and fueling the idea that Anne was simply a calculating temptress. An exhibition at Hever Castle in Kent, the seat of the Boleyn family from 1462 to 1539, brought together the prayer books of both Anne and Catherine for the first time in almost 500 years. Supported by research from its co-creator Kate McCaffrey, it proves the two women had much more in common than previously thought. Both found solace in godly devotion, according to the findings, and Catherine highly respected Anne. Professor Susanna Lipscomb, whose book Six Queens, The Wives of Henry VIII will be published later this year, backed this view. Writing in the exhibition catalogue, she said, "For centuries, there was this alleged rivalry. In fact, there were many more similarities in these intelligent, educated and determined women, whose learning favored expression in their piety." Catherine's religion is often used as a code for dutiful dullness, whereas Anne is seen as a sexy siren to whom God meant little. This is not accurate. Don't miss. Kate's family is a sanctuary for William, where he helps clean the kitchen. Insight, poll, should Buckingham Palace be turned into a museum? Poll, King urged to follow his mother's example and keep his nose out of politics. Latest, Meghan and Harry have to change tactics as coronation signals royals won't back down. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry will have to change tactics now King Charles III has been officially crowned, former butler Grant Harold has claimed. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have taken several swipes at the royal family since they announced they would be stepping down from their working roles in 2020. Find out more here. Ms. McCaffrey spent 3 years researching the two queens, examining their books of hours, which included prayers, psalms and scriptures which were read at specific times during the day. Both books were printed in Paris in 1527. Anne's had been lost for many years but was eventually bought in 1910 by the American-born magnate William Waldorf, who had recently acquired Hever Castle. Meanwhile, Catherine's had been purchased by the financier John Pierpont Morgan, also in the early 20th century. But there are differences in these books, Ms. McCaffrey said. Anne's is better quality and more colorfully decorated, which shows her as the coming woman. It is quite possible that Henry himself gifted it to her. Anne even took her book of hours to her execution, only parting with it moments before the sword struck her neck. The book contained numerous inscriptions in the margins, one of which read, "Remember me when you do pray, that hope doth lead from day to day." The exhibition painted Anne as a deeply religious woman and refuted the notion that she used promiscuity to seduce King Henry. Although it is thought Anne agreed, in principle, to marry Henry in 1527, Ms. McCaffrey believes she was probably wary her older sister Mary had already engaged in an affair with the king. Watching her become the king's mistress and then be unceremoniously cast aside influenced Anne's decision to hold out, she said. Anne purposefully did not consummate her relationship with Henry until their unofficial marriage in November 1532, just 2 months before their formal wedding. Ms. McCaffrey claimed the misrepresentation of Anne has been fueled by history books, and television and film portrayals. The scholarly narratives of the Victorian era perpetuated the sinner Anne versus the Saint Catherine idea, she said. Demonizing Anne was not hard because of the scandalous charges against her, and Anne as the bewitching temptress is more compelling.